Good morning, you guys. So we today are going to use those special right triangles from our construction activity yesterday. So if you haven't yet pulled that out or have that sitting next to you, why don't you pause the video and get that out right now. You'll notice how the three triangles I have are the same colors I used yesterday. So blue for my 45, 45, 90, green for the 30, 60, 90, where the 30 degree is the reference angle, and orange for the 30, 60, 90, where the 60 degree is the reference angle. So make sure you're using those same colors. You'll see why in just a second, because the next thing, what we're going to create, and it says right down below, we are going to construct what is called the unit circle. I have attached the template if you can print it. So as a PDF, you'll see it'll say blank unit circle. So if you can print that out, it might make your life a little easier. But if you can't, try to draw as close to a perfect circle as you can on a sheet of paper. You might even maybe use like the other side of like a kitchen bowl or something that has that circle shape that you can find around the house to draw a nice circle on a piece of paper. The more clear you can make it, the better, for two different reasons. Number one, you will submit your complete unit circle today as your homework assignment. So a picture of what your unit circle looks like with everything labeled, that's what you're going to submit to me. But also too, if you are going to pre-calculus next year, or even if you're not and you're at all thinking you might need this down the road, you can use this. So for example, Mr. Miko actually lets his students in pre-calculus use a unit circle if they don't have one created already, to kind of help them get through this next thing that I'm going to show you guys. So you can actually keep this for next school year if that's something you'd be interested in, okay? So kind of two reasons for that. All right, so here's the deal. You should have, this is my template. If you aren't able, like I said, to print out the template, try to draw this on a blank sheet of paper. You'll notice how I have the main degree measures kind of already on there. So for example, we're going to call this 0 degrees, or technically it could also be 360 degrees, right? If you make a full rotation on the circle. You've got 90 degrees up here, 180 degrees, and 270 degrees, okay? Basically what your goal is, you're gonna take those special right triangles and infuse them onto your unit circle, okay? Before you do that, there's a couple things I want you to label. First thing I want you to go around and label is if we were to use coordinates on this side, okay, they would be positive, comma, positive, right? If I were to pick this point out here, for example, and say it's this, comma, this, it would be a positive number, comma, a positive number, right? Like if we were to make this a grid, okay? If you go to the second quadrant, your coordinate would be a negative number, comma, a positive number. In the third quadrant, it would be a negative number and another negative number. And in the fourth quadrant, it would be a positive number and then a negative number. So label those for me, as well as the 0, 90, 180, 270, and 360 degree measures, and start with that. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to actually kind of take your triangles and color code them. So for example, okay, looking at my three different triangles, okay, the one that has the smallest degree measure is this one in green right here because it's got the 30 degrees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my pen over to green, and I'm going to go to my unit circle and draw in my, whoops, I didn't mean to move it, sorry. Let me get my pen again. Sorry about that. My green 30, 60, 90 triangle, where this is my 30 degree, this is 60 degrees. Okay, then if I use my template, right, square root of 3 was this length right here. Okay, 2 is this length right here, and 1 is the ratio right here. Here's what I recommend though. I'm not actually going to label the actual degree measures and all that. I did that in this particular situation to show you how that's going to be infused. But what I'm looking for is you can actually leave all of these blank. Okay, what I'm looking for is for you to draw in your triangles using the different colors, okay? So this one's my 30 degree. So here's the thing though, if I were to draw that exact triangle in the other three quadrants, it would be over here, over here, and over here. So it almost makes like a little butterfly shape. Then if you were to draw the next, you see there's a next line right above it, that would most likely be my 45-degree guy. So since I used blue yesterday, I'm going to use blue again today and label my 45, 45, 90, 45, 45, 90, and so on. So you can tell they're all kind of starting to overlap a little bit, which is why the color coding is so important. So the other one must be my 30, 60, 90 with the 60 degree as the reference angle. So I'm going to use orange for that one because I used orange yesterday. So I can label all these guys down here. Okay, so that is going to create your unit circle. Here's what I would like you to do next, okay? What I want you to do is on this paper, on this template, I want you to actually write out your 45, 45, 90, your 30, 60, 90, and your 60, 30, 90, with all the ratios down here at the bottom color coded. Because if you were to actually label everything inside this circle, that would be way too much. But having it labeled on the bottom will still allow you to reference it and kind of go back to what those lines are. The next thing I would like you to do is actually label each of these degree measures. So for example, this one in green was a 30-degree reference angle, blue was 45, and orange was 60. Here's what's going to change though. If I go to use my reference angle for this guy, for example, it's not just 60 degrees, right? It's actually going to be a different angle measure, right? We want to think of it as, well, it's 90 degrees plus if this is 60 right here, this piece right here is 30. So it's actually 90 plus 30 degrees, which is 120 degrees. This one would be 135. And this one would be 150. Okay, just trying to figure out what those degree measures are. I would like you to go all the way around the circle and label all of those degree measures. Next, I would like you to take those degree measures and label them in radians. So for example, 0 degrees is just 0 radians, so it's not really a thing. But 360 degrees is actually 2 pi radians. Okay, I know 180 degrees is pi in radians, and so on. So I want you to go through and take each of those degree measures and label them in radians as well. Okay, when you are done with this, so what I would recommend is pause the video, label all these different things, draw in your colors, label your triangles down here so that you've got your unit circle fully colored out. Okay, pause the video and do all that. When you are ready to make sure that your unit circle is the way you want it to be, unpause it, and I will show you essentially almost like your homework answer key basically on this next slide. Okay, so take a minute and pause it, unpause it when you're ready to see the answers. All right, you guys, so your unit circle paper should look something like this. Okay, notice how everything is very neat and organized. Everything is colored in and color coded. So if I were to for example, to look at this triangle right here, because it is colored in orange, I would know to reference this special right triangle down here when I go to find trig ratios. Same thing with the other ones as well, okay? There might be a couple things on here that I did not have you label. So I want you to add them to your unit circle. I want you to label this point right here, 1, 0. This point right here, 0, 1. -1, 0, and 0, -1. This is actually why, you guys, this is called the unit circle, because each length is 1 unit away from the center, the origin, or 0, 0. What's going to happen is we're going to use this unit circle tomorrow, and I'm going to show you guys how we can find trig ratios and functions a little bit faster than redrawing special right triangles over and over and over again, okay? All right, once you have your unit circle color-coded, all of the information you see on the screen right now is on your unit circle. Go ahead and take a picture and submit it to this assignment by midnight tonight, and you will get credit for this assignment. Keep this piece of paper. You're going to be using this for the next few days, if not longer. So make sure that you don't just toss it once you're done. Make sure you're saving it somewhere so you can reference it tomorrow. Okay, remember, if you have questions, stop by and see me for office hours or send me an email.